The news that Nike's CEO suspended Caitlin Clark's contract shortly after her WNBA team's elimination sent shockwaves through the sports world. While Nike has long been known for its partnerships with star athletes, this sudden shift caught many off guard. Caitlin Clark, a rising basketball phenom with an impressive college career, had been seen as a symbol of the future for the brand. Her stunning performances on the court and her rising popularity made her one of Nike's most promising young athletes, which made the abrupt suspension even more unexpected. But before we proceed further, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. To understand the significance of this move, it's essential to look at Caitlin's journey. Her explosive talent first came to light during her time in college, where she put up some incredible numbers. Her quick shooting, court vision, and tenacity made her a force to be reckoned with. Fans loved her. Her swagger on the court wasn't just about scoring points, it was a statement. Caitlin knew she was good, and she made sure her opponents knew it too. Her antics, sometimes playful, sometimes cocky, brought entertainment to the game, drawing eyes from all corners of the basketball world. Nike wasted no time in scooping her up with a deal, betting big on her star power. For the brand, it was a calculated move. Caitlin Clark was the perfect athlete to represent the future, fierce, unapologetic, and with a game that backed up the hype. However, the corporate landscape is as unpredictable as it is competitive, and Caitlin's recent struggles in the WNBA playoffs became the turning point. Her team didn't advance as far as expected, and her performance in those high-pressure games didn't reflect the dominance she'd shown earlier in her career. The postseason exit led to scrutiny from both fans and the media, but few anticipated that Nike would act so quickly. The suspension of her contract wasn't just about a lackluster playoff run. For Nike, image is everything, and it's possible that the marketing executives felt that Caitlin's trajectory had momentarily stalled. In the highly competitive athletic endorsement space, even a temporary dip in performance can raise questions about long-term value. This doesn't mean Caitlin won't bounce back, but Nike's decision suggests that the brand wasn't willing to wait and see. In the business of sports endorsements, timing is critical. Nike had built a reputation for signing athletes on the cusp of greatness, athletes who would not only win, but also become cultural icons. Michael Jordan, Serena Williams, and LeBron James. Each of these figures transformed not just their sport but their era. Caitlin Clark, while still early in her professional career, had the potential to follow in those footsteps. But with the weight of expectations bearing down, it seems Nike decided to hit the brakes, perhaps waiting for her to prove herself again before reconsidering the partnership. There's also something to be said about Caitlin's personality. She's never been one to hold back on the court or in interviews, and while that rawness endeared her to fans, it may have also contributed to the decision to suspend her contract. Corporations often want their athletes to be marketable in a very specific way. Edgy but not too edgy, confident but not arrogant. Caitlin danced that line, and sometimes she crossed it. It wasn't uncommon for her to throw a smirk or a word at an opponent after a tough play. That kind of fire works when you're winning, but when the losses pile up, the bravado can start to look like immaturity. Maybe that's what Nike saw, a potential PR risk if her game didn't catch up to her personality. Humorously, you could imagine a boardroom filled with executives watching Caitlin's games, raising eyebrows every time she took a deep, risky three-pointer or made a bold comment in a post-game interview. As they saw her WNBA team getting eliminated, maybe one of them sighed deeply and pushed the suspend button. "We can't sell shoes like this," someone might have muttered under their breath. In reality, of course, the decision was probably much more calculated and cold. The decision to suspend her contract also speaks volumes about the relationship between athlete performance and commercial partnerships. Brands like Nike don't simply sign athletes because they can play. They sign them because they believe those athletes will represent their values and help sell products. For Caitlin, her basketball prowess was supposed to translate into sneaker sales, merchandise, and a whole lot of brand loyalty from her fans. But when her on-court performance took a dip, the risk became apparent. Nike may have seen declining value in keeping her as the face of any campaign until she finds her footing again. What's particularly intriguing about this situation is the timing. Nike could have stuck by Caitlin despite the WNBA elimination. After all, every athlete has ups and downs. But the quick trigger to suspend her contract might suggest that Nike is feeling the pressure to remain nimble in its sponsorships, moving away from anyone who might bring even a hint of doubt to their image. Caitlin's future success, or lack thereof, could significantly shape how this decision is viewed in hindsight. Still, it would be a mistake to view this decision solely as a performance issue. It's entirely possible that behind the scenes, Caitlin's approach to branding herself wasn't aligning with Nike's expectations. It's not just about hitting three-pointers. It's about how those three-pointers are packaged and sold to the public. Nike might have been waiting for Caitlin to reach a point where she was both a basketball star and a marketable, polished figure. Her rise was swift, and sometimes when athletes climb that fast, the branding machinery around them has to work overtime to keep up. Perhaps in Caitlin's case, there wasn't enough time for that to happen. While we may never know the exact conversations that led to the contract suspension, it's clear that this event serves as a reminder of the fickle nature of sports endorsements. Even the brightest young stars are subject to the realities of performance-based contracts and the massive corporate machinery behind them. For Caitlin, this could serve as a wake-up call, not necessarily about her basketball skills, but how those skills are perceived off the court. She'll likely be back, stronger, more determined, and with a renewed focus on proving that she belongs in that rarefied air of athletes who don't just play the game, they dominate it. As for Nike, the company has always been one to bet on the future. It's a brand that thrives on identifying talent before it's fully realized and then building it up into something larger than life. In suspending Caitlin's contract, they've signaled that they're willing to pause that investment for now. But if she rebounds and starts tearing up the WNBA next season, don't be surprised if they come knocking again, ready to restart the partnership. For now, though, Caitlin is left with the task of proving that she's more than just a flash in the pan. There's something almost cinematic about Caitlin's current situation. The young star, filled with promise, experiences a setback and now faces the uphill battle of redemption. It's the classic sports narrative, one that fans have seen play out time and again. But this isn't a movie. This is the high-stakes world of professional sports and corporate branding. Caitlin's next move will be critical not just for her basketball career, but for her marketability as a brand ambassador. In many ways, she's at a crossroads. What makes this all the more compelling is Caitlin's persona. She's not the type to shy away from a challenge. In interviews, she's always had a bit of swagger, a bit of that "I'll show you" attitude. You get the sense that she won't let this contract suspension define her. If anything, it might add fuel to her already competitive fire. There's no doubt that she'll come back swinging, perhaps with a few choice words for the doubters along the way. For Nike, this suspension could be seen as a calculated risk. They put their partnership with Caitlin on pause, but they haven't completely shut the door. If she proves herself again, they could easily pick things back up. But in the meantime, they're protecting their brand from the unpredictability of the young athlete who hasn't yet fully lived up to her potential at the professional level. The implications of this decision go beyond just Caitlin and Nike. It serves as a lesson for other young athletes about the tenuous nature of endorsement deals. No matter how talented you are, there's always a business side to consider. And that business side can be ruthless, especially when billions of dollars are at stake. It's a reminder that in today's sports world, performance and persona are intertwined. Athletes must not only play well, they must also fit neatly into the narrative that brands want to sell to the public. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more engaging content. We thrive on your feedback, so be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Until next time, keep discovering and stay tuned.